was hard to watch. Oh goodness. I personally knew I sucked at that challenge. But I think that it was even worse on screen.
I'm Nicole Weaver from Showbiz Cheat Sheets. So good to see you, Nneka.
Thank you, Nicole. Same here.
My first question
Look
is
at us rocking those headscarves.
exactly. How did you feel watching the first episode where Mariah was sent home to keep her tribe strong, knowing your experience was coming up not too long after?
I mean, it was first of all, it's a very weird feeling watching yourself on TV. I was surprised overall at, even though I knew what happened, I was surprised overall at how emotional that made me. Like that was a shocker. But it was not like a surprise. The whole keeping the tribe strong was not like it was not a surprise to hear because it's a conversation that keeps going on, in the tribe. Even when we went for our first tribal council, that was the argument. Hey, what's the move here? How do we keep the tribe strong?
Right. Why was it surprising? I think you said for you when it comes to the Mariah, because I think a lot of fans were like, she actually did pretty well in that. So what was the line of thinking there? I'm wondering from you as another Black woman in this experience that also watched it, what was your line of thinking?
No one exactly was saying, hey, did she do well in the challenges? I thought that she did well in the challenges. She did well, like encouraging and keeping her tribe morale high. So, like, where do we start defining strength? Is strength only physical? There are all kinds of strengths. And I feel like she demonstrated different kinds of strengths. Do I also understand that many times when that term is used, it's referring to physical strength? I get that. And maybe that's something that we need to all kind of go back and explore further. But I would say just, being like saying I was surprised at my emotional reaction is, first of all, like it's a weird feeling being on TV, kind of just see it play out. I did not see that part play out. It was my first time watching it. I would say just seeing it play out and, it just hit me, differently. But yes, in some ways I get it. In some ways, I don't agree. It's the game of Survivor. Maybe, part of it also had to do with the whole, yes, there was excitement of a premiere. Hey, and then, okay, 50 million people are watching this. How about it's just me and my friends? Can we just keep it to that?
Right. Well, how did you feel watching your performance back in last week's challenge?
Last week's challenge, that was hard to watch. Oh goodness. I personally knew I sucked at that challenge. But I think that it was even worse on screen. But it was, just we were coming from a place of where we had just been depleted strength and energy wise. I'm still proud of like what I did in that challenge. I learned to swim to come on Survivor. Me jumping off a platform, the very first time I ever did that was the day before I left for Survivor. So jumping off into the ocean, swimming into a cage, getting out, while yes, from a performance physical standpoint, I was behind my tribe. I'm still very proud of that because, I did like things I had never done before and got through.
Yes. When you frame it that way, even as a viewer, you don't think of how high those jumps are, but I'm sure they're so high. And I don't know.
Those suckers are high. And by the time like you swim, and I remember like jumping off the platform and swimming halfway, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did it!" Like I actually had stopped swimming and kind of looked around, I'm like, "Yes!" Kind of celebrating myself. And then finally, I made it to the cage. It was almost like I had no strength to climb up that cage, So you still keep going, even like you feel like you are at zero, and you keep going. And those are the things that people don't see. Yes, we see a few seconds on the screen, but not seeing you pushing back every single limit that you have in there to say, I will keep going. I will not disappoint my tribe. Yes, you may show up late, but you did not stop and you did not quit.
I think one thing that you can definitely be proud of is your social game. Um, so you were in trouble basically last week, and what saved you was your social game. Cody was like, her performance was atrocious. She's one of us. I want to know how your relationship with Cody formed, first of all, because when he said that, I was like, what?
Me too. Precious is a strong word. Come on, Cody.
But no, how did your relationship with Cody form? Because it seems you two are very different people, it seems like on paper. I just want to know.
I think we're very different people on paper in terms of how we live out life, but we're very similar on paper in terms of how well we want to live life. I believe life should be lived well, and Cody lives it wild. I believe I live it strong, so it depends on how we choose to define that. But, we come together in this tribe with people you have no idea where they're coming from, but they're commonalities and just things that attract you and cause you to build those strong bonds. So, Cody and I loved how just Cody was a party from when he wakes up in the morning, like on a good day, that's me, like that was, we definitely clicked on that. He was closest to me age and the tribe as well. And then, he was a hard worker, like, trying to get from a camp life standpoint, getting things going and keeping things going, running well. We got to do a whole lot together. And I would say we were also like morning people. I always kind of got up early, we go out on the beach, kind of have, just a quiet time. And, Cody was always like on the other far side of the beach, kind of doing his own thing. Like he was a very contemplative person at that time. And then we always like had a lot more of the conversations like afterwards. So that was kind of how that built and went on there. But it's also easy to see the other relationships that had kind of paired off, and you want to look at yourself and be like, you want to build these relationships from day one, make these notes and start working on it. And that was something that happened. Like, it was easy to see that the girls had clicked off. I was not going to try to break down that door, especially if there are locks on it. Why wouldn't I go through the open doors that were available and maximize the heck out of it?
Got it. They did note that you're helpful around camp. I was curious of like, what was your jobs around camp?
So while I had like 0 on my outdoor resume, I had never been camping before I went on Survivor, but coming, like, even like showing the tribe how to cut bamboo, I was shocked at things I knew how to do. I was actually nicknamed the Coconut Queen, like I could pop open those babies like it was going out of fashion, and I didn't get any blisters. So, just stuff like that, making sure that we're staying fed. Like, we all had like emotional moments like, hey, keep your strength going, or, just to ensure it was a unified tribe. And I really, really did care, just care about my Vessi people. Like, Vessi living is a thing. Okay. So, I feel like that a lot of that was not shown on the show, but I also understand, like, I'm cool with, what was shown too. Like the episodes we've had have been fantastic. But, those were the things I would say that really, really brought us together.
Okay. One thing I have to talk about with you and camp, probably, and I'm a newer fan, not gonna lie, but probably one of the blackest things I've ever seen on Survivor was you doing Dwight's hair. I was like, is she parting this man's hair with, like, I don't know if it was a stick, but I'm at home. When I do my twist, I don't bother to part, and I have a comb. So like, were you okay? So what was the discussion? Was it twist or were you locking?
No, that so first of all, Dwight has really good hair. Okay. I could always get my hair in it. And I'm like, Dwight, you have to let me twist your hair. And Dwight's like, sure. And that day we didn't have a lot going. And he's like, sure, come twist my hair. I'm like, yes. So yes, I did get a stick. I had to like sharpen it, like to make like a point. And hair had, Dwight, like we had the mud sand, like there was a lot. So with each part, it was an opportunity to like detangle and moisten. So we were moistening with the buffs. Like I kept the buff and water bottle and we were using it to moisten the hair. And then I had to use my fingers to descend it. Like it was very, meticulous, tedious work. And then to twists each one. I'm OCD with lines. It's important to me that things are in order. So I can't, even when I make my own twist, like I have to use a mirror in the back and make sure like I get my lines right. So I could not make proper lines on his hair and because I have to look at it, so and Dwight was so patient, just letting me, but it was also such a good bonding moment. We got to have like some really, really good discussions in the process. But just to see that happen, yes, it's a normal day-to-day thing, like getting your hair in order, but it's also a very cultural thing to do. Like, how we feel about our hair. And it was an honor for him to let me do that.
Yeah, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, we are making a society. There's a if I was on your tribe, you wouldn't be going anywhere. I don't care how many puzzle pieces she loses. We're not getting rid of our hair braiding. But like, so talking about Dwight and Jesse, what was like watching Jesse try to take Dwight as his island wife and then keeping you actually throw a wrench into that whole marriage?
So I would say that Jesse did a fantastic job connecting, Watching it, I don't think I realized how close they were. Now, the proposal on the last tribal, that was very amusing and everything, So I would say I really knew about the whole island marriage thing. It was a thing that they had. I knew about the proposal, but like it's fun to see the whole you're sleeping on the couch, I'm signing the divorce papers. Yeah. Go down. So it's also like an eye opener. Like we were on the same tribe. How did I miss these cool aspects of it?
Yeah. Well, Jesse seems to be a true softie. He is like making everyone into his family. Did it surprise you when he started talking about how he really saw you as a mother figure because of the traits you had were similar to his own mom?
That I had many crying moments last night. That was one of the crying moments, and that was just the greatest honor, knowing how highly he thinks of his mom, remembering the stories that he shared with me about her, and how highly I think of her, and just appreciate those stories. For him to make that comparison, like Jesse he already had my heart anyway. Like it meant. It was the greatest honor last night. His mom, from what he shared, was a phenomenal woman. Jesse is a very complex person. He has the softest side and the most strategic mind ever. I shouldn't say that, but it's an interesting mix. But to hear that from him was the greatest honor.
Yes. Before the season, you said you appreciated the past winner, Denise, because of her social game, and you're focused on having a good social game. How proud are you that your social game was the strongest aspect of your game?
I knew it was going to be my social game had to be the strongest aspect of my game. As much as I try to get ready physically for Survivor, like I said, learning how to swim, losing almost 20 pounds, all of that to get ready. I was in a much better physical shape than I had been, but the elements take a toll on you. You kind of see that and I'm like, why was I not stronger than that? But yes, I'm still proud of that. But I also knew my social game was going to be the strongest. And that was my strategy kind of going in. And I'm thankful for that.
Losing that 20 pounds, was it all through swimming or what else were you doing for prep?
I had kind of like I did intermittent fasting to kind of get my body used to fasting. You know, I had cut out sugar. Yes, I was working out, not just swimming. Kind of like I do Camp Gladiator, which is like an outdoor style boot camp workout. So kind of to build strength, build endurance for running, get the swimming piece going, and get my body used to fasting and just eating better and hydrating water.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. You seemed pretty certain that you were going home once you returned to camp after that next challenge. But did you try to put up any kind of fight?
So after the challenge, like I was, and that, that's kind of watching it. Is it a personality flaw in the game of Survivor? Yes. You don't come and take full accountability for like that. Everybody tries to shift blame to someone else, but in real life, is that a personality trait or strength as far as accountabilities? It's a value in real life, and that was it showing forth there, to say, dang it, I really felt bad because I felt like I let my tribe down. And I could see why that would be the response from the tribe. Now, at the time, Noel was away on the journey, and the consensus was the tribe was like, hey, we're sending Noel home. And everybody, I remember, sitting back to think, okay, this is too easy. But why fight it? Like, you don't want to go and your tribe tells you, okay, yes, you're doing this. No, you don't want to go, as much as I didn't want to come back and question loyalties again, they had shown themselves true. I was like, okay, fine, let's go with it. Even though I knew there was a nagging doubt in my mind that this is not right.
Okay, so you actually thought you still had a chance because in that one conversation you had with Dwight and after the challenge, I think you tried to approach him about the vote, and he's like he gives a little flimsy. And from my read on your reaction, you're like, oh, I know. But it sounds like you didn't know.
Yeah, no, he was also like, what do you want to do? And this point, I also kind of wanted to hear from my alliance first. I was very, loyal to our alliance. Yes, Dwight and I had really connected, especially like on the hair episode the day before. But I wanted to be on the same page with my alliance before I even started having any conversations with him.
Okay. People on your tribe said you fought hard to do the puzzles. Why was that?
So that was, I was like, no, the first two puzzles, nobody wanted to do the puzzles, on the marooning challenge. And the first one, like nobody wanted, like everybody was kind of running away from the puzzles. Now, that last one, I knew for sure there were stronger swimmers on my tribe. I did not want to be jumping off a 10-foot platform. That was one I picked the puzzle, but the other two, no, I did not. They were like, please go do the puzzles, So that was one I'm like, really, dude, come on.
They threw you to the wolves on that one. My other question is, you broke down crying in your confessional, saying this game was harder than you thought. Which hardship took you by surprise?
Kind of like what I had shared with Jeff, like you think of the physical part, yes, what you have to do in the challenges. You think of the toll on your body from a physical standpoint. I felt like I thought of all of these things in situ, without combining all of them. But I would say the part I underestimated was how much I cared. I was going to care about my tribe, kind of going into Survivor. Yes, I had made this, things like, yes, I want to go in and not play a game that's true to who I am. I also wanted to love people well. I wanted to love my tribe well and still play a good game. I was shocked at how well I loved them. Like my heart was breaking. And that part, I will say, like, kind of surprised me in combination with everything else. So like by that evening, like I was like, I was a wreck.